So it's 7:05, and we'll start our reorganization meeting, call to order. First point on the agenda is to administer the oath of office to a new school board member, which is Peter Lawrence. So I think that you do that.
Well, he's gonna read this sign up for me, officially.
Stand up.
No, just please read it
Hand
out
over
loud
the
and
heart.
sign it.
There's the Bible. I do hereby pledge and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the position of Board of Education member of the Canajoharie Central School District according to the best of my ability.
Way on.
Welcome. Officially welcome. Okay, the next point is the election of the President of the Board of Education. Do I have something?
No, we gotta administer the oath to superintendent.
Oh, sorry.
Don't skip.
I do hereby pledge and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the position of the Board of Education member of the Board of Education member, space superintendent, according to the best of my ability. So, I agree. Just got to change it to superintendent.
Hey, welcome. Even though I forgot it. Okay, the next point on the agenda is the election of President of the Board of Education. Do I have any nominations? Do I have a second? All in favor? Any other nominations? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Then the election for Vice President. Do I have any nominations?
Scott.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, yeah. Any other nominations?
Any other nominations? No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Then we have administer oath of office to the President and Vice President.
What?
I don't think there's a pull on it, so. The sun will eventually go away.
which one. Is this one?
You can just stand there.
I can get a chair.
No, it's all good, don't worry about it.
Still false.
You get to do an oath of office.
It's painful to look at.
I was
gonna say.
Does it?
It is painful. to
Oh,
look
I
at
thought it
these.
was great.
Squinting like-
Enjoyed it.
The aura on that.
You're shining.
Oh,
Thank you so much, God, I appreciate it.
Is that enough?
Less scary now?
Perfect.
Okay.
Much better.
So do we have the oaths for the President?
well, I'm gonna add your names to it because I didn't want to assume anything.
Okay, there we
So,
go. Okay.
So we have to read something?
yes, I'll have you read it and then I'll have you sign it after if that's okay. Okay.
So I should go first? I do hereby pledge and declare I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the position of Board of Education President of the Canajoharie School District according to the best of my ability.
I do hereby pledge and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the position of the Board of Education Vice President of the Canajoharie Central School District according to the best of my ability.
Even though nobody applauded for me.
Right.
I applaud you. Okay, so the next thing is our annual appointments. First is District Clerk. This is Andrea Molback. Now, is that something that we should nominate and second, or how does that work?
No, we'll go through the list,
Oh,
if that's
just do the whole
appropriate, and
list
then
of-
we'll approve again.
Okay, fine. So that is first, second for, well, you can just read it for District Treasurer, Attendance Reporter, Mrs. Nancy Moyer, District Deputy Treasurer, Mrs. Leah Schaefer. Tax Collector, Mrs. Laura Pankowski. District Auditor, Weston Company. Treasurer of Extracurricular Fund, Mrs. Laura Pankowski. Controller of Extracurricular Fund, Mr. Nicholas Fitzgerald. Record Management Officer, Mr. Nick Fitzgerald. Committee on Special Education. What is that? I know what it is, but there's no name associated with it.
It's kind of a thing, it's just indicating who will be there. So a parent of a child, one regular education teacher, special education teacher.
We need to call these people out.
I don't know if you have to call them out, it's just.
I don't know either.
No, it's attached and will be a part of the minutes. It'll be a parent of the child, special education, regular education, for the regular committee. Stacy,
Yeah,
Ward.
just indicating.
Okay, so that the members, the participants in that committee will be in the minutes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so we just approve the committee
Yep.
as indicated, okay. Let's see, where are we? Then we have a committee on preschool special education, that would be the same situation. Workers' compensation trustee, Mrs. Leah Schaefer. Deputy workers' compensation trustee, Mrs. Andrea Molbeck. Attendance officer, Mr. Nick Fitzgerald. Title IX, Section 504, ADA compliance officer, Mr. Nick Fitzgerald. Purchasing agent, Mr. Nick Fitzgerald. Head cook at East Hill, Mrs. Jill Baker. Head cook at the high school, Mrs. Deborah Kraus. Head custodian at East Hill, Mr. Matt Scandera. Claims auditor, Mrs. Teresa Valdanza, at $25 per hour.
What claims is that?
That's the claims auditor that looks at all the payments before they go out. That one is
Registrar designate, Mr. Nick Fitzgerald. Board of Education committees, which we will take up later.
Take it up later or take it up now?
Oh, we could do that now. What do you want to do, guys?
You want to just remove Cheryl and replace Pete, or do we want to
I have
switch
one,
around?
I have one other proposal.
Okay, that's fine, go for it.
So, okay, so basically I would agree to put Pete in wherever Cheryl, where's the list of that?
You click on it.
Yeah, click on it.
Okay. You click on it, it doesn't do anything.
Here it is.
So which one? Okay, so what I'd like to propose is that we move Jen Field from negotiations to transportation and move Scott to negotiations. And then put Pete in everywhere where Cheryl is now.
So you wanna do an even swap then?
Pardon?
Even swap between the two?
Yeah. Is that agreeable?
That's agreeable to me.
Yep.
No issues.
So I don't have a good clicker.
So did you get that?
Yes.
Yep.
I got it.
Okay. Then official school newspaper, the Courier Standard Enterprise and the Reporter, newspapers. Official bank depositories, NBT Bank, New York Class, Kinderhook Bank, soon to be Community Bank, effective July 12th, 2019, and establish mile reimbursement rate per IRS regulations.
And that's now 58 cents a mile.
Okay. At 58 cents a mile currently. So can we do these all in
Yep.
consent agenda for that? Okay. Do I have a motion for a consent agenda on A through X?
I'll make the motion for
Second.
consent A through, would you say X?
X.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Moving on to authorizations. We have, again, we do a consent agenda on that?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion for a consent agenda?
Motion for consent?
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Petty cash, $100, high school, elementary school tax collector. I would assume that's $100 for each?
For each, yeah.
Okay. Locker room attendants at the fitness center, $12 per hour. Official bank signatories, Mrs. Leah Schaefer, Mrs. Heather Memrick, and Mrs. Andrea Molbeck. Certifier of payrolls, Mr. Nick Fitzgerald. Credit card approvals, Mr. Nick Fitzgerald. Determined fundraisers for approval, Mr. Nick Fitzgerald. Transportation cost per mile, outside organizations, $2.05. Voting supervisor compensation, step 5 of the support salary. Voting inspector compensation, step 1A of the support salary.
The transportation has more detail than that. It's $205 for a bus and $65 for a van.
Okay, so, yeah, it's not coming up when I do it, so, okay. So the transportation cost per mile for outside organizations would be $2.05 for a school bus and
65, I think it was.
65 cents.
65 cents for a van per mile. Okay, so the motion was made and seconded for consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're done with that. And I think that is it for the reorganization meeting.
Yes, motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, we're done.